For this revolver episode, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into why I use the revolver majority of the time over the knife. The first reason I have is actually very simple. It's the fact that if you shoot someone, you can put distance between them and yourself and take less damage, therefore increasing your survivability. A lot of the people understand this. The longer the shot is, it's harder for them to hit you. You can get away a lot easier. That's pretty much the primary reason. But the other reason, which is just as important actually, is something that people don't really understand about the dead ringer. And that's because a lot of the top spies haven't really made a video about the dead ringer in terms of all of its really useful capabilities, but the limitations on those abilities as well. So I wanted to kind of give you guys an overview of what really makes the dead ringer a very powerful weapon and how it can actually hurt the spy using it in certain situations. So the first thing I want to explain about the dead ringer is how it exactly works, because a lot of people don't understand this. The dead ringer procs as soon as it goes up on the screen. Now I'm going to show you right here. The rocket's coming right at me, and I'm going to pause right here. You can see as soon as the dead ringer gets on the screen, it will work. So that's the first thing you need to know about the dead ringer, about the fundamental use of it. So this next segment is going to show you how it works with the revolver. You can see that I just shot it at around tick 214, and around tick 226, the dead ringer will pop up. There's 100 ticks to a second, so that means it took 12 100ths of a second from when I fired the shot for the dead ringer to come out and be effective for me. Now let's compare that to the knife, which I fired around tick 666, and see how long it takes for me to bring up my dead ringer after this. So you can see around tick 720, the dead ringer finally comes out, which is about 55 ticks or 55 100ths of a second after using the knife, which is around 4 times as long as it takes after using the revolver. This is a huge crimp on survivability and is one of the primary reasons why I don't use the knife in a lot of situations where a lot of spies would. By not using the knife as often, I make myself understand a situation. For instance, if I shoot a medic 2 times, will my team be able to finish him off? That's a judgment call I need to make when I'm going in to decide whether to stab him or to shoot him a few times. And it's a difficult call to make, but as you get better and better at it, you realize that your life has meaning. A lot of spies just like to dive bomb the med, dive bomb the heavy, and maybe get the pick, maybe not get the pick. My thought is, why can't I be a constant intelligence source for my team behind enemy lines while at the same time helping them kill the targets I would have killed anyway? Or even do better than the spy who would just go in all the time, using his team as a distraction. It's basically like I'd rather be the distraction for my team to allow them to push in rather than having my team distract for me and for me to maybe get a pick. And to really understand how important a distraction can be, I really think at this point, you guys, I know a lot of you may have already watched it, but you should really watch Valen's video, which I've linked in the description, because that video from the guy who actually won Plat, right, with his team, he talks about how as a soldier, his main objective is not to kill people, but it's to stop them and to be a distraction. It's to put himself in the best situation possible, feel comfortable with himself, while at the same time giving his team information and focusing the other team's attention on a source outside of his main combo. And I say that if Valen can do it, why can't I do it as well? Valen has the black box and I have the dead ringer. There's not a huge difference between the two. We both can survive a lot better than most other classes, and that's the thing. You gotta make a judgment call to yourself whether it's better to be a distraction or better to be a guy who goes for the med pick, the demo pick, the heavy pick. I just tend to disagree a lot of the times with high plat teams these days. I just feel that they're very good at spy checking, and you're going to be a lot less effective than you think as a spy if you just continue to go for the picks, because the teams are going to be expecting it. They're going to have good counters to you, and you're not going to be as effective as if they're worrying about you on their flank and they're worrying all the time because you're staying alive as a dead ringer and they know you can come in at any time, basically, and shoot them a few times and give that extra damage your team needs to really push, all while doing it for free because you're not worried of dying because of the dead ringer. So it's just my opinion on it. I know a lot of spies disagree with that, but I wanted to give you guys my take and to make you understand that a lot of what I do while it may be confusing at first, it actually has a lot of basis in certain type of spy I wanted to be.